Hey, what's up? It's Rashad Antonio. We are the Westerbros. We're back,
We're
man.
back.
House of the Dragon, season 2, episode 1, A Son for a Son. All the spoilers. Gotta talk about a thing to talk about a thing. And if you haven't seen us since the last time we did this, I need y'all to go ahead and stop playing and subscribe. For real. We do other stuff too.
Yeah, we do.
But yeah, let's get right into this. I don't want to play no games today. So
hmm
I was very, I don't know, I was a little bit anxious going into this, as always, because hadn't seen it in a while. Just
hmm
did a rewatch of the last season, and I was like, oh man, this is why I love the show. And let's just say that they didn't disappoint.
hmm
This was a very strong establishing episode coming off the heels of the season finale.
hmm
It definitely tells us everything that everybody's doing, how they're feeling, where they are
hmm
mentally, and
hmm
what's basically gonna about to I can't even say it. What's about to go down this season by the time we hit that last 4 to 5 minutes of the episode.
hmm
Yeah.
hmm Um, yeah, so excited. Was so excited about this. I mean, like I was when Sunday came, I was like, oh snap. Today is the day. It's all I kept saying to myself was today. I did my rewatch about 2 weeks ago, but I went on ahead and did a halfway rewatch again on Sunday because it was showing the what I'm trying to say, Rashad. They were just replaying it on
Yeah,
HBO.
yeah, yeah,
On
yeah, yeah.
HBO. So I said, got nothing else better to do. Also, shout out to New Rock Stars. They have a 3 hour and 30 minute, like
Yeah, they got all the recaps from
all
the
the
season
recaps
one
in
just
one
in
spot,
one.
one big
Yeah,
spot
yeah.
and everything. So shout out to them for for doing that or whatever. And I actually did watch some of that as well. But bro, let me tell you something. What's the one thing I said that I told you, Rashad, that was going to be happening this season? And it started off war
War
crimes,
crimes.
war crimes, war crimes, and more war crimes. We've just seen well, in the last 5 minutes, we saw a major war crime, which basically start. If y'all want to know what you're talking about, this is what's basically what happened is the closest thing to what started World War One when the Serbs killed Archduke Ferdinand. Yes, I said. Really, you could
That
say it
is
has.
such a good parallel.
Yeah, for my
You're
history buffs
right.
out there,
You are definitely right, yo.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then to the other thing I come back with, the episode was called "A Son for a Son." It really should have been called "You Gonna Get What You Owe." You're gonna pay what you owe, for real. Um, well, first of all, let's start off with this: the intro. We get our typical. It's like I don't know how excited you were, Rashad, but when I was looking at HBO and first thing you get is that staticky, yes. I was like, here it comes. Here it comes. And then they did the little recap. And then after that
Yeah.
recap was over, we went right into our favorite theme song, Game of Thrones. And it is a different visual they have for the open, unlike last season. Last season basically was showing the bloodline starting from Aegon the Conqueror all the way down to, kind of where we at right now with the people, people dying off and everything like that. And it was a model of old Valyria. And it was kind of related to the model that we saw that rest in peace, King Viserys is working on the entire first season. Well, this time we start with looks like embroidery stitching. It's embroidery stitching, and from looking at it, I kind of, just off of I've only one glance looking, you kind of see the some things I noticed that you saw the fall of Valeria. It looks like you saw on one of the stitching. You saw it looked like I saw the field of fire that happened with King when Aegon the Conqueror and his sister wives. The only time all three dragons attacked an army at the same time out in
Yeah.
the Reach. Uh, and then you see like the council, the Great Council, to see who's going to become the new king after Jaehaerys. And then you see like when Viserys basically, announces Rhaenyra is going to be the queen. Then you see some other stuff in between. You see you see what happens with Laenor Velaryon. You see what happens with Daemon. Some stuff that's being stitched in, and it finally ends where you see Aegon the second, who is now the king, who's the recognized king, and then you have Rhaenyra and like stitched together, and that's how it ends. You go back and check it out, you'll see. Once I look at it again, I'll probably catch a few things as well, but also to looking at some of the fan sites and fan channels like New Rockstars and stuff, they're gonna break it down and show some stuff that like we probably not even gonna really recognize off bat.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be honest, I watched it on Max and I skipped both the intro and the season recap.
Rashad was like, all right, let's get to it, Jeff.
Okay, I know somebody's gonna talk about this tomorrow.
Yeah. All right. So the show starts, this episode starts, season 2, episode 1 starts with the familiar sounds. The familiar sounds of the Stark House theme song. And we see a raven flying around. And then we finally see what some consider to be home sweet home, good old Winterfell.
Yes.
And someone is narrating. And they're narrating about how, the Starks have been the lords of the North, and how even the Night's Watch is a part of the North. And what I saw was probably one of the most trash ways to become a member of the Night's Watch. It's horrible. It's like he said every year they just get like able-bodied men and they send like 10 of them. They pass around a sack, a black sack. They can't look in it and they just got to reach their hand in there. And it's rocks. If you pull out a white rock, you safe. If you pull out a black rock, hey, holla at you. You going up to the wall. And this looked like this young teenage dude. He reached his hand in and was like, you had a woman yet. What is this? So, that's like to me one of the most trash ways to go to Night's Watch. You was going to say something, man?
Nah, I just want to agree with you. He was very sad. Like,
yeah.
He's like, man, like I ain't even trying to go to the wall with a bunch of murderers and just some angry people, Like, yeah, he was pissed.
And we find out the narrator is the current Lord of Winterfell, who is Cregan Stark. We never saw him in the first season. We saw his father in episode 1, which was Rickard Stark. When he bent the knee and pledged his fealty to King Viserys and Rhaenyra as the next heir. And Cregan is walking around. They're at the wall, and he's walking, and he got the good old trusty Valyrian Stark sword of ice on his back, and he's talking with somebody, and we kind of find out it's old Jacaerys Velaryon, aka Jake, and he's there fulfilling the mission that his mother sent him on. At this point he's already secured the veil for his mother, but now he's working on getting the North with the Starks, and it's like a real bro thing, like, hey man, look man, blah 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 blah, and then you get a little history of what's going on, saying a little history of the whole Starks and Targaryens a little bit up until that point.
Yeah.
Where he was like, he was like, what Jake say, like, look, man, he was like, yo, you guys have always been cool with the Targaryens and us and stuff, man. Going back to when Aegon first came here, and stuff, and your Torrance Stark, he bent the knee or whatever. And then Cregan was like, yeah, he says, I want to thank you for not bringing not basically threatening us with dragons, with this type of thing. And he's also explaining too, like, Stark, we don't ever forget our vows, and that's one thing that we do know about the Stark clan, is those people are very vow driven and oath, all about keeping their oaths and honor bound.
Loyalty.
Right. And sometimes, Rashad, what? To their own detriment.
To a fault.
Right, to a fault. And they're talking, and they're at the wall, and they're just discussing what's going on. And then Cregan goes on to say, the last time a Targaryen was this far, was the old King Jaehaerys and his wife Alicent, and he was explaining like, we aren't just here keeping the wildlings out and keeping, other types of, beasts and stuff. He says it's some more stuff beyond that y'all don't even know about. And he's talking about the White Walkers, because he was like, because even Jace made reference to winter is coming. But man, it feel like winter off. He was like, no, I'm talking about a winter that's long lasting. It's like snow over thing. And then he also, when I talked about the old king, he says, yeah, the old king stood at the same spot. And no matter how many times they tried to make their dragons go over the wall, they refused. He said they refused them. He said, so yeah, whatever. So, that goes to show you too, like some of the, I guess the magical barriers or whatever that is on the wall. And I know what some people are going to be like, well, Dany and her dragons went beyond the wall, but they flew on the outside, so on the outskirts along the shivering sea to come up. They didn't go over the wall or whatnot. So yeah, so they're having their bro moment, and the next thing you know, a maester comes up to Cregan. A raven, my lord. Cregan looks at the raven message, and he's like, oh.
It's like, this is for you.
Yeah, right. And then he looks up at Jason. Jason's looking like, yo, what's good, my guy? And yeah, and that's basically the first probably like 4 or 5 minutes of
yeah. Good, just showing like houses being aligned and all that good stuff. And also we're seeing just like I told from the beginning, just how where everybody is at after the end of the season one. This is about like 9-10 days or so after.
Yeah, it's only a few days.
It ain't long. You know what I'm saying?
Our boy Sweet Luke became
since Luke got dinner. Yeah, a little afternoon snack. And cut back to, what did we cut back to? It don't even matter. It's like this. I want to.
We go back to Dragonstone where where Princess Rhaenys returned with Meleys to the dragon, I guess the dragon pit that's there at Dragonstone. Yeah. And who do we see come up, Rashad?
None other than the menace of Westeros. And he is doing his menacing thing because he is pissed. This man is really trying to just lay waste to Westeros. And he said, look, yo, how about me and you get on our dragons and go get that Bastion Aemon? And she's like, I've been patrolling 100 miles of water. Me and my dragon are tired. I need you to calm down, yo. He was like, it's an order. He said, look.
Right, he tried to order. He said, look. He says, that's not a request. That's an order. She's like,
come here. Come close.
Yeah.
When my daughter died, like my daughter, your wife, Goofy, I mourned until I was able to see basically her remains. And she's not going to be able to mourn correctly until she gets some sort of key that boy is really dead. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in the back, going to give me a little something to eat. I'm going to take a shower and I'm going to go to sleep. And you're going to get on my face. And like, he is steaming because, you know what Dane wants to do. Dane wants to, you know what I'm saying? He wants to break necks and cut checks. He's not about.
He was like, we going to King's Landing. I'm going to attack Vhagar. I can't do it by myself with Caraxes. He says, I'm going to need Meleys. We're going to basically like, yo, our dragons are gonna jump Vhagar, and we're gonna get our get our get back.
Yeah, we're gonna get it squared away right now. I don't know why you playing games, because we can do it together.
You know what it's basically like? People who have dragons have weapons of mass destruction. They got nukes.
Definitely.
But the thing is, the blacks have the most nukes, but the greens got the most powerful nuke.
Biggest nuke.
The biggest nuke and the most powerful nuke. And they're like, we need to take that nuke out. So once we take that nuke out, we ain't worried about Sunfire and whatever. We need to take
and then also, like we said back in season 1, he said, look, yo, you could have took Aegon out from the jump. We wouldn't even have these problems right now.
No, what he said, he said, if you would have had your chance to do what you were supposed to do, he said maybe Luke would still be here. And he playing on her emotions.
He really tried to guilt. Try her best to guilt trip her, y'all.
Yeah, And she did not fall. Shout out to Princess Rhaenys. She was like, yeah, let me go get me something to eat. Y'all go feed my dragon a fresh lamb or something or whatever.
Yeah, she wasn't fun. She wasn't falling for the flammery. And right. Cut the next scene. I mean, I was so weak watching this. Mm-hmm. We have one queen, ex-queen Allicent, mother of the king Allicent, devotee to the seven Allicent, prim proper demure, you know what I'm saying? I got my morals to live by Allicent, is getting a visit from Colonel Angus himself. And when I mean this man was going to town, I was like,
he was like a puppy eating puppy chow, Jack.
Yeah, when I saw those curly black locks, I said, I know that who I think it is.
I know who I think it is. I know that ain't who I think it is.
Tony, your man got up. I said, damn Criston Cole. You done got slutted out by the queen.
Can I tell you how I'm pissed off about that whole with this mofo right here? So this mother right here, right, was all years ago heartbroken and everything because not Allicent, but because Rhaenyra, saying he busted Rhaenyra drawers open or whatever, and he fell in love because he what my man Dario Naharis said in Game of Thrones. Hey man, once you ride the dragon, there ain't nothing else really funky. You know I'm just saying. He said this. I mean, once you ridden the dragon, I mean, woo, it ain't enough. So he was all in love. He told this girl, hey, we could get on an orange and spice ship and head to Essos. She said, you want me to do what? You and leave this crown behind? Yeah, no. She said, you can stay around. And he was all, so you want me to be your whore? And he was all honor bound, ready. He killed it. He killed Rhaenyra's lover for this daggone nonsense, and then was about to perform seppuku at the face tree at King's Landing until Alicent stops him. But now he's all honky dory with being a whore.
Tony, but like I said on the review, like the reason that he went to go find Aegon when he was lost in the city drunk was because of how he felt about her. She played on that. So and I want to talk about this, and we're gonna skip to the other scene too. I just got to bring these 2 points together before I forget. So we see how like even after it's over, she was like, "Yo, we can't do this no more." Right. And he was like, "Yeah, mind you, your man got up, got out, did not wash his face, brush his teeth,
rinse his mouth out,
just nothing, just straight vagina juices on his face, and walked into the High Council. I know for a fact." Otto was like, I know I smell vagina here somewhere. I smell vagina.
Like, he probably, no, I know all them in there was like, yo, is that?
Yeah. Your man literally had
mouth. That's what he had. I don't mean urine. He
had a vagina on his mind. You know what I'm saying?
But he was like burning that. Otto Otto was like burning. Man, I smell Badussy up in this place. He said, no, baby, that is not my ass. I smell Badussy up in here. And guess what, Otto? It was your daughter's Badussy.
R.I.P. Bernie Mac. You're like, yeah. They definitely. So all right. So I want you to notice this. So basically, she was standing, getting that visit from Colonel Angus. At the end of the episode, she was out there with him on his back. So either way, it's still showing a position of power dominance over him. You know what I'm saying? And I know y'all might think I'm thinking too hard, but that's kind of how this works. He is the submissive vessel in this relationship.
You know what he really is, Rashad?
Yeah, he's a bottom
feeder. He's a bottom feeder.
Yeah. So anyway, I just want to bring it up. Because that last scene is hilarious. Even though it's very sad, it's hilarious.
Criston Cole, you are such a bitch. I just want to say
Yeah,
that,
I
by
mean,
the
yeah,
way.
it's okay,
Yeah.
man. So,
Uh-huh.
so this high council meeting is hilarious because before we even get in there, we see Helena, the twins, and we see Aegon, and
Uh-huh.
Aegon is like, "Hey, where's my boy?"
Where's your Harris at? Where my son at?
And she's
He's
like,
like,
"Man, what do you need him for?" He said, "No, we about to go to the high council meeting.
he's
He got to
like,
learn how to be a king."
she was like, he's getting his lessons. He has a routine. She went straight mother, like, you right, mother, like, I don't have any kids or anything like, but I've
Nah,
seen
like,
stuff like
yo,
that.
like,
She
don't
was like,
bother him.
he
He's
has
doing
his
his thing.
routine. Leave him
Mm-hmm.
alone. He was like, well, he's gonna be king. He needs to learn, so he needs to come on. This jerk. So after everyone gets inside the council, this jerk comes in with his kid. It was like, father, bring your kid to work day. He sits him at the other end of the table, and they proceed, what, Rashad, to talk about everything that's going on right now with
Mm-hmm.
this pending war that's going to happen. Serious news, serious business and stuff. You got God, what's his name? Not Jason Lannister, but the twin that's on the council, who's like, yeah, the treasury looking pretty cool for the most part, and this and that. And this is no knock against little Jaehaerys. Little, you know what I'm saying? Little Jaehaerys. Jaehaerys probably about what, 5 years old or something like that, Rashad? Maybe 6.
He may be younger than that. You know what
Maybe
I'm
younger than
saying?
that. He's doing what little kids do. He just got up and he sees that my man had like a little ball right there. He wants to play with the ball in front of the Lannister dude. And Lannister was
Yeah.
like, just like chill, little kid.
It's
And he's
Tyler,
doing
right?
Tyler, yeah,
Yeah,
Tyler.
yeah.
And Tyler's like, hey, yo, man, chill. And the kid is sitting there, want to keep grabbing and playing with it. And then jerk ass Aegon just sitting there smiling or whatever. And they're like, and he's like, no, blah, 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 blah. And you got Otto, and then you got Allicent talking about, hey, what we need to do, we need to fortify the defenses. You know what I'm saying? There's a blockade around King's Landing out there in the bay. You know what's gonna happen. And then he goes, Lord Tyland, is the prince bothering you down there? And he's like, oh no, he cool. You know, it's like,
No, he cool. He care.
he cool. He says, yeah, I think the prince may want a pony ride, and you be the pony. And then he gonna ask us, do you want a pony ride? Do you want him to be the pony kid? Yeah. And then he like, all right. He was like, okay, my lord. And then like finally they was like, the mother and them were like, hey, yo, my man. Like, and then he was like, all right, I guess we have to. Guess what, people? Guess what, Allison? Guess what, Otto? This is the mofo y'all chose. This is the mofo y'all wanted to sit on the throne. Yeah. Somebody, what did I say to Rashad in the preview? Not the preview, but the you know what I'm saying, the recap episode we did. I said, if they really wanted this dude to be the king, they did not properly prepare him and let him know the seriousness of it. And we already knew the type of jackass this guy was. And what happens when a jackass get power? They become a powerful jackass. And there you go. This is what you want.
Nah, you're right. You're definitely right, because even the scene after, when he goes and talks to they like walking out of the meeting or whatever, they discuss some stuff.
And don't forget too, his brother pops in.
Oh yeah. Aemon ain't supposed to be there. He said, "No, that's my brother. He's the best, basically. Like,
he's my closest confidant. He's my brother." Yeah. Alice is like, "Yo, you ain't on the council." He's like, "Yeah, whatever, ma." He basically walks right by her. It just starts pointing at the map. Yeah, we need to do this.
They go here, they go there, they go here. Yeah, so basically, Aegon is running it like he is running his kingship like a frat boy.
Yes. 100%.
The only thing he's doing is having fun. And okay. Next scene, they're going out of the council meeting, and we see Sir Lucius left foot grabs him. Because before that, because right after what's called the guy visited by Colonel Angus, Larry says, hey, I found the people who ratted you out. And I replaced the entire staff with my people. What's the
line he said? She was like, "Well, what did you do with them? They're no longer breathing the
same
air. They're
no longer breathing the same air." I was like, ain't number one air. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
You didn't have to be so coy about it. and which is crazy because now Laris has all his people in there,
Mm-hmm.
and now he's really ramping up to be like the
The
butter
Master Whispers or
master
something like that.
whispers
And then
unofficially
and then
because
once again, because remember she was taking her bath and all they were all his people. She was like, "Y'all can go, y'all can go ahead on out of here. Do this."
yeah,
Guess what? Guess what? Allicent once again. This is your man. This is the guy you put into
you was playing
play.
footsie with, you know what I'm
Uh
saying?
huh.
Like and he was,
Jacking
riding
off in your
solo,
yeah
you know what I'm saying? He was doing his solo job.
yeah.
So come on now, like, yeah, again, she makes making the wackest decisions. So
Mm-hmm.
he's talking to
Aegon.
Sir Lucius is talking to Aegon, and he's trying to basically sow them seeds to Aegon say, look, yo, like man, they don't really take you serious like that. What kind of king you want to be?
Yeah.
You
He said,
know?
"Look, man, your grandfather was your father's hand of the king, and he
Yeah,
was
like,
your great grandfather's hand of king. You might want to get your own
yeah, you
hand
need
of
your
king."
own hand.
Yeah.
And Aegon was like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I feel you, Sir Lucius left foot. I feel
Mm-hmm.
you. And again, he just sowing them seeds because he
Mm-hmm.
already know your girl ain't feeling him no more. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because every time he shows, like, oh, this right here, yo, like,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
what do you
What do you
want,
want?
man?
Oh my God.
I
Just
go
trying to have some
again.
fun here. God Almighty. Never thought
Yeah,
being a king with ruler would be this much
yeah,
effing work. Ugh.
nah, yeah, definitely. So that was again plotting.
Mm-hmm.
Plotting is the key. He is definitely our little finger. So
Mm-hmm.
after this, there's some other stuff we're gonna bring up at the end because I got a couple questions. So if you didn't hear everything in the recap, don't worry, we're gonna come back to it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like we saw, and they sowed the seed so early last season. The King's Landing, the actual castle has a serious rat infestation. And they showed that seed last year, and I always was wondering like why they keep on showing the rats because they showed the rats the whole season. You know what I'm saying? They just really just said, you know what? Think about that. And this season, it's to the point where they have to get actual rat catchers to kill and exterminate the rats. You know, and because of that, we're able to get into the castle via somebody who was trying to get away from King's Landing in the first place. And that is no other than our favorite, I'm not even sure what his lady's from. Um
Yeah. Let's call her Masseria.
the
This is
white
the
worm
white worm,
herself,
Masseria.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because she has like, because the way she talks, it almost sounds like she's Asian,
Mm-hmm.
but not. I don't know. Like her
She from
whole
Essos. Well, let's just say that she from
yeah,
over there in
yeah. She's
Essos.
definitely
Yeah.
from Essos in this universe. And
Uh-huh.
because there's a blockade, you know what I'm saying? That's also going on. There's a whole blockade but of course, our homeboy Corlys Valerian and his
Mm-hmm.
people set a whole blockade. And every time somebody tries to go through it, they boom, hey, we about to come on your ship, see who's on your ship, and see what
Uh-huh.
goods you got.
Uh-huh.
And I think it's Eric with an A. He
Uh-huh.
hops on the ship looking around. He's like, oh, it's your ass again.
What did
What's
she say?
good?
Last time it was two of you. Remember she said that? That's when they was looking for Aegon after the
Yeah.
father died. She said, last time it was two of you.
Yeah. So she finds him, sends her back
Well, Damon.
to Damon, you know what I'm saying? And Damon is not very happy to see her. And he's looking, and he says, look, yo, what are you doing? He's saying, no, I'm just trying to get out trying to get out of King's Land like everybody else.
And she was like, you put him on the throne.
Yeah.
She says
Yeah.
you put, and she was like, "Look, I didn't know what type of king or whatever he was like. I didn't know." She says, "Listen, they paid me. You know, said
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
kidnapped the boy. They paid me. It was just a money transaction. That's all
Yeah.
it was to
He was
me,
like, what is
Jay."
your allegiance to
And she,
Aegon? He was like, man, I don't care about that
she
bastard.
said,
I was
"My
getting
she said my
paid.
allegiance to myself. Shoot,
He
you
said
know."
Otto was paying for information and I was giving
Mm-hmm.
information. That's
And
really it.
and the reason she's leaving because if you saw in the episode, I think episode 9, whatever, you saw they burnt her establishment down,
Oh
her
yeah,
little,
yeah,
her
yeah.
home,
They
after they got the king and stuff. Otto and them basically put a torch to her
yeah.
establishment, and she
Cause
looked
she
pretty rough. Like,
cause she was like,
dang.
yo, like I don't think I want you to do was like protect the kids. You know what I'm saying? We got
Mm-hmm.
a bunch of bastards running around here, literal bastards of Aegon running
Mm-hmm.
around here. And we just wanted to be fair for them.
Mm-hmm.
Again, she was really trying to look out for her people, like
Mm-hmm.
the
The,
small folk, as
the
they
flea
say.
bottom. Mm-hmm.
And they burned that whole thing down, yo. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, again, your boy's still mad. And he's like, look, I need put her in a jail. You know what I'm saying? Lock her up.
Yep.
So he goes back down there and talks to her and is like, look, I need some info. And she was
Right.
like, well, I mean, I do know a rat catcher.
Before we even get to that part,
Yeah.
because Damon too, he's pissed off at his wife because she
Yeah.
hasn't been around and she's been mourning, and he's like, you don't even know what the hell she is. Like, he's snapping. He's like, she needs to be a queen right now. And that's when not Maelys, but Princess Rhaenys gave a speech of, her daughter stuff. We cut to a scene of Rhaenyra on the beach off the distance from Storm's End, and she's just looking at the water and like the fishermen and stuff. We saw that the first, like a quick scene of that, but then we see a scene where she's still there looking, and you hear like the fishermen that said, "We've got something, a dragon wing." That set her off. She hopped on was Cyrax, and she went diving down. Dragon! No, got
Yo,
it won't
scared
no
the hell out
slowing
of them,
down.
yo.
She like just came in. Dude, I've never seen nobody from Game of Thrones or this show hop off they dragon so fast. She got off that dragon quick, and then and she went up to it, and she saw what was that boy? Arax's wing that was torn off,
Yeah.
and you see Luke's cloak that he had that was there. You don't see any remains of Luke, but you see the cloak and you see the wing, and she just breaks down crying. And it's kind of like what Rhaenys said, that she probably needed to see for sure to know that her son is gone. And what I found out today was that also, if you notice, Cyrax was kind of wailing too, because not
Yeah.
only was it getting emotion, but apparently Arax was her offspring from
Yeah.
her clutch of eggs, so she was kind of wailing too and mourning that. And yeah, and so then next thing you see her returning to Dragonstone, and they announce her, and you see the council, the Black Council that's there, and they're having their conversation, and she basically is like, all right, I'm ready now, let's go. And then Damon was still on his look, I'm going to the Riverlands to secure Harrenhal, this and that. And then Rhaenys said, hey, we're gonna go. She says, I'm gonna go back out to the gullet to patrol the area to make sure we good. And she was like, they was like, what else? Is there anything else you need? She said, bring me Aemon Targaryen. And they all looked at her and said, bet. We know what bet. We know what that means. That means right. Because even before that, when she walked into the room, Damon walked up to her and he like, it's his wife, and he watched her hair. He was like, are you ready?
You ready?
She said, and she was like, yep, let's get. And then that's all he needed. He said, oh, game time. Let's go. Let's round it up. So then the next scene you see kind of was a touching scene. And
Very touching scene.
Very touching scene. She's in her quarters. And she's just still kind of like, damn, my boy's going. And Jacaerys comes back and he's talking to his mother. And he's like, Lady Jane Eyre has, said pledged her fealty. She just requires a dragon to, help the veil. And then he says, Creed gets start, and he just breaks down crying because that's his brother, man. That was his brother, and they were really tight, as you saw in season 1, and they embraced each other. And like, man, I was just like, yo, it's about to go down, and it's about to be some problems. So then that's when you get to the part, Rashad, that you talked about, where Damon went back to the cells
with
to go
Massaria.
talk to Massaria, and she was like, "Look, I'll give you whatever y'all want or whatever for a price, and I'll be on y'all team or whatever, this and that." She says, "I do know some people," and then this is when things get real.
So your boy goes back, like your boy Damon hops off the boat. I feel like this is the same spot where everybody leaves.
I think so. That's kind of like the same spot too in Game of Thrones when Tyrion and what's the Onion Knight, they went and they got what's my name, the Gendry back.
Gendry,
Gendry, yeah.
So they go to the normal getaway pickup spot, and he hops back on, and he goes to the gate. Was like, sees a dude there. He was like,
that's from the city guard.
The city guard, you know what I'm saying?
He's like,
hey. He was like, Commander. He said, oh. He said, yeah, I heard you on like the heard you like the king in them. He said, F Aegon.
He said, F Aegon and F the High Tower. And then he just gave him a bag of money. That's all I need to hear. That come on through.
All right, so they end up walking through the city. He act like he's like a prisoner or whatever. Boom, boom, boom. Meets up with the rat catcher. We saw the rat catcher earlier. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, look, yo, I know how to get around inside a building. And he was like, what you want? He said, yeah, we need y'all to go kill Aemon. And he said something about it. He was like, look, what if we can't find Aemon? And your boy just looks at him. You know what I'm saying? They ain't even say nothing. He just
Damon
was like,
didn't say no other command. He looked at him like, I told you who we want. That's who you basically, that's the look he gave him. Like, I told you who we want. That's who you need to get. And then he said, yo, my man's right here is gonna go with you because I know Aemon is a problem. You know,
Aemon can he can hold his own. You know, he ain't no punk. So you're gonna take the two of y'all and you're gonna show him where he at and get to the keep. You know what I'm saying? And he's going through the mazes and stuff, goes to this nasty order, goes up. It's like a trick door. Like it's just crazy. Like you said, yo, I know all the mazes. So goes there and they actually go to the king's court. And again, Aegon is really out here running this like a frat house. It's like him, like 4 of his boys, just some random guy.
Don't forget the token black guy that's his home.
Token Negro who's there. I'm like, what? Like what is?
They like, drunk as hell. Drinking.
Like, what is Demetrius doing here? Like, he just Demetrius. Meat don't belong here.
First of his name.
Yeah. You know, his mama call him Meat. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know why he here. And they're all talking about like, yo, man, I'm the king, man, but like it's just so hard. Like I should be doing all this stuff, and like they're all pissy drunk. You know what I'm saying?
They were joking on the nickname. Remember the guy when he first came?
Oh yeah, because he called him
King Aegon the
magnanimous. He said, "Man, don't nobody know what magnanimous means."
The best part was Aegon knew that was even too much for his while. He was like, "Really, the magnanimous?"
Yeah. He's like magnanimous, like dog, like. But the sad part is how he was portraying himself was magnanimous. Like he was very giving and caring because he was out here like, yo, we gonna get your sheep. Otto's like, yo, we need that tithe, that 10th to feed your little goofy big dragon. You know what I'm saying? Like we need his sheep. He's like, I'm gonna have to renege on that, fam. You know what I'm saying? So there's a whole lot of stuff that he was trying to do because he was like, whatever, I'm the king, I can make it happen. Like, no, you can't make this happen. You need these things in order for us to keep this thing running. So they walk through the building, right? It's crazy because it's like they straight up just abandoned their plan to kill,
right? Because they went to Aemon's quarters.
Aemon wasn't there, of course.
He was there earlier, though.
Definitely was there earlier.
It would have been a problem though if they would have both walked in.
They walked in.
Cole, they would have died. For
real. So like during the day, it would have been real nasty for them. So they was there probably like a minute, like this is like an hour or two before, but because they was trying to go through strategy and stuff. And when they go through, you can see the whole board there, and it's funny because these men was playing like with the pieces was like actual currency for them. This dude threw the thing up, was putting crap in his pocket. Like these bastards is poor. You already getting paid, trying to get more money anyway. So they're going through and walking through the castle. Dude was like, before he even went up there, he said, "Look, man, I don't be going up there. They got other rat catchers from upstairs."
He said, "Yeah, that's the royal family level."
He said, "Man, like, if you don't bring your ass upstairs, stop playing with me."
Ass up here, whatever.
So they go upstairs and start rummaging through stuff, and they was like, "Yo, I don't think Aemon here." So dude is walking through and walk through the little court area. You know what I'm saying? It's raining outside, and they bump into another room. And in this room, bump to the servant girl, you know what I'm saying? And she was like, "Excuse me, who are you?" You know what I'm saying? Didn't say anything. He was like, "I'm the rat catcher." You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and she, he turns his back out like he looking for rats, and she dipped out like a ninja. Yeah. I mean, was gone, yo.
It was like if she was Batman, she would throw a smoke bomb down. Poof.
Yeah, for real, yo. And dude ran out like, "Oh man, where that ninja go?" So he was like, he was looking perplexed and scared. He ends up meeting up with and they bump into another room, and unfortunately, it is Helena and the twins, and then we get the actual how can I say this? The on-screen uttering of the title. You know what I'm saying? Because he's like, "Look, we can't find Aemon. One of them got to be a boy over there." You know what I'm saying? Like, we gonna kill somebody because we don't want because we don't want to go back to Daemon and have Daemon be disappointed and then he kill us. So Helena's like, "Oh my God."
Yeah, she said, I have a chain. This necklace is worth a whole lot. My man snatched that chain like T.I. did the new on ATL, man.
Snatched that chain like Debo did.
Give me your chain or whatever like that.
That was my mama gave me that chain.
And like and listen, we've already said it on the show that we think something is wrong with Helena.
Helena is definitely coded to be on the spectrum. Like, it's obvious.
It did too. She gave a sign earlier when she was meeting with her mother, and she was saying, "What's wrong? Are you worried about your children? This and that?" She was like, "No, I'm worried about the rats." And we already know Helena is kind of have some foresight and stuff like that, and like you got to listen to whatever she says because it's going to come to whatever. So they look and they see the two beds with the two kids in it. They see the twins, Jaehaerys and Jaehaera.
Yeah.
And he's looking. And my man says, "I don't know which one is the boy." And he's like, "Look for the one with the cock." You know what I'm saying?
Like, dude was like, "I ain't trying to be finding his
penis. I ain't trying to be finding his penis. Like, I'm not trying to find." So he said, so they talked to the Helena. They said, "Look, you answer me true, or else all y'all up in this jank gonna die." He said, "Which one is the boy?" And she's looking horrified. And she, as far as we know, that's what I'm gonna say, Rashad. As far as we know, she actually pointed to the boy.
Pointed to the boy.
And and then so the brute blood was like, said,
"Guy gotta be the other one, yo.
It gotta be the other one. She's not just gonna rat out the air that easily." And then the rat catcher dude looked at her. He was like,
"Nah, she's telling the truth.
She's telling the truth." And he says, "All right, next you proceed." They says, "All right, come on over here and help me." So as Cheese goes over and they hold that kid down, you see Helena grab the other kid and walks out the room. However, you hear the sawing and cutting of flesh and bone. I said, "Oh my God."
They decapitated a little bastard, yeah.
So before I continue, I have read parts of the Fire and Blood book, which is this series is based off of just a few chapters in that book. It plays out a little differently in the book, but remember, Rashad, I kept saying, hey, if HBO does what they say happened in the book, they some wow, HBO wow. So what plays out a little differently in the book is that there's actually 3 kids. I don't think it's 3. I think it's just 2 on the show. There's Jaehaera, there's Jaehaerys, and then there's the other kid. I can't think of his name. Some Targaryen name kid or whatever, the youngest kid or whatnot. And Rat and Cheese basically go into the room, and Allicent is up there with Helaena. They hog tie Allicent where she watches as she's talking, and he says, "Yo, which one's the oldest?" And he pointed, and he said, Blood basically tells Helaena, "You have to make a choice. Which kid do you want to die? Is it going to be the youngest boy, or is it going to be the heir?" And so Helaena in the books was like, well, the heir can't die. So she says, so she chooses the youngest boy because the boy was so young, he died, wouldn't understand. They proceed to kill the heir anyway and be like, you hear that, little boy? Your mother wanted you dead instead of your brother.
That's wild.
That's what happens in the book.
That's wild.
I may have worded it a little different, but I know that y'all have been watching this. Y'all will know exactly what I'm talking about. That is wild as hell to do. And yes, they did decapitate the kid, and they did. Also, what's different apparently from in the books too is that, you know, it wasn't, hey, go give me Aemon Targaryen. It was more direct of, we gonna get something done. And they went to go look for whoever they could find, and that's what they found.
Yeah, they went on. Yeah.
And all that happened, and you hearing them kill her kid, and she's like traumatized, like not knowing where to go. She did what any kid would do, any child would do. She went to her mama.
With the mom.
She went into the room. And you want to know what's the first thing I thought, though, for real? I was like, yo, this is going to be messed up. I thought that was Aegon in there smashing cheeks with another chick, because we know that he has bastards. That's what I thought. Before they showed it, I thought it was that. But then when I saw that red head on top riding, I said, look at this mother, right? This, not miss, oh, we can't do this no more. Really?
I was like, yo, the amount of trauma this girl is going through right now. Not only do I have to go, it's like adding injury to insult. Yeah. I don't. One of my kids is dead. Mm-hmm. Now I gotta witness my mama having sex. Not even to my actual parent, but the dude that's supposed to be quote unquote protecting her.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he protecting her all right.
Yeah, protecting them cheeks.
Protect them cheeks. And then she's like, "What's wrong?" And she's like, "They killed him." And it fades to black.
And she over there on the fetal position on the floor with her other only child now, yes. and like just gone.
Her mind is put her brain inside of a bird, and it's gonna fly backwards right now. That's how daggone jacked up how jacked up she is on that. And I mean, that's a black. That was the episode, man. Listen, I said war crimes are gonna happen, and I mean, good God Almighty, they are. A few other things that happened that are kind of minor, but that's going to pay off later on in this season is that we see back on Driftmark where our guy Corlys Velaryon, he's like, you know, he's going to sea to get his ship, make sure his lead war galley is getting fixed up, and he sees like they're all working. You see how much respect they have for him. It's like, my lord, everyone's kneeling for him, my lord, my lord. And he sees this one bald-headed black guy and was like, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. They're talking. He was like, how long? He says, I need my war guy. He said, I need my thing fixed. Like, he was like, maybe another week or two or something like that. He was like, cool. And he looks, it's the way he keeps looking at him, and he's just like, they say you you're the one that, pulled me out the water when I fell in and get my neck cut and stuff. And he was like, I was just doing my part, my lord. And he said, okay. And he was like, what is your name? He says, my name is Adam. I'm not going to give away anything, but
Alan.
Al, is it Adam or Alan?
It's
Alan.
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 My name is Alan.
Yeah, I'm not going to give away anything, but he's going to play a part, as they say in Game of Thrones. He's going to play a part in the wars to come.
Yeah.
He's going
He'll
to play
come
a
back
part.
around. They'll be
Yeah,
showing us nothing for nothing. Another thing I
right.
want to talk about real quick too
Mm-hmm.
was when are they going to start listening to Helena? Helena has already told y'all four things, like four things already. And with this, nobody's listening because she's basically like for our culture, it's like the crazy uncle that
Mm-hmm.
nobody listens to. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because he has, of course, some sort of mental disorder.
Mm-hmm.
But she said, "Are you? What are you afraid of?" I think she said, "Are you afraid of the dragons or something?" And she
Yeah,
was like,
something like
"Nah, I'm
nah,
afraid of the rats."
rats.
And then my mom was like, "Oh snap!" Like
Mm-hmm.
because again, like I said before, last season, I was showing us the rats
Mm-hmm.
in the keep. So I was like, man, I wonder how it's gonna come back around. And did it come back around? You know what I'm saying? So I hope they start listening to Helena
Man,
because
the thing she might be daggone gone, Jack. She might mentally might be gone.
yeah, she
Right, the
might
actor.
be.
You know what I'm saying? She had a knife to her throat. They didn't kill her. She had to point to her child. Like I said, we don't know if it was actually the boy or the girl or whatever, but as far as they're trying to make it seem like it was, point to her child and say, yep, that's him. Knowing what was about to happen to him, witness them start to decapitate her child, then goes into her mother's room to see her mother's getting her cheek clapped by her protector, Ser Criston Cole. Another thing that we
Yeah.
also see in this too, this episode, real quick, is that we see that there's starting to be a rift now between Allicent and her father, or
Oh
whatever,
yeah. Oh
because
yeah.
she's like, you keep undermining me in front of them boys. That's why they're not paying me, no mind or what, no mind or whatever. And you need to stop that if you want me to at least try to have some semblance of control here. Because she's like, look here, yo, Aemon's a wild card. He always wanted his get back and stuff. But once again, I go back to you being a horrible mother. This is back on you, or what? This comes back on you, sweetheart.
Definitely.
Stuff like that. And that's when the scene that we saw with Criston Cole and Aemon were basically having a little private war council behind the back, you know what I'm saying, of her of them. And and Otto came in and was like, hey, look here, I hope you ain't trying to make no plans behind, you know what I'm saying, the actual council's back and stuff. And he's like, Aemon sitting there like, whatever, dude. And then Otto's like, look here, man, you are the most important person in this war right now. You are the best fighter, and you have the biggest and most powerful dragon. You need to. He basically told him, you need to check your impulses at the door right now. Look, chill. So, man, this season starting off crazy, and it's. I mean,
I'm just saying,
yeah.
it's gonna be some mess because when when they find out that that boy is dead, you know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? It's really gonna spark everything because we already got because Aegon now has something to prove.
Uh-huh.
Because Aegon's gonna he's gonna try to get revenge because he
Mm-hmm.
is the king. They killed the king's kid.
Mm-hmm.
He can't be no punk. So
Mm-hmm.
more than likely, Aegon is going to tell Aemon, "This is what I need you to do,"
Mm-hmm.
and this is gonna be the first beginnings of the actual Targaryen civil war here, and it's gonna be lovely to behold all of this destruction.
Yes, it is. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the game. Welcome back to. I know the show is called House of the Dragons, but welcome back to Game of Thrones, man.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back to it, man, because we about to. Woo, it's about.
I
It's
mean,
about.
because
As real as it gets, yo.
I just want y'all to be honest with yourselves. By the time we get to the OG series, ain't nothing but like two Targaryens left.
Yeah.
Named Targaryens for
Mm-hmm.
real. And one
Yeah.
of them died like the second episode. They pulled all that
You
gold
talking
on that
about?
man head.
Yeah. You talking about? Well, he's Viserys the third or fourth or whatever, whatever. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. He was a
They was
dick.
like, you know what, man? I don't like your ass. And just
Yeah.
oh, yo, you want some gold?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, Khal Drogo said, "A crown for a king," and he dropped it,
yeah. We
poured
got
that
some
molten
gold for
gold
you,
on his
yo.
head.
Turn that man
Yeah,
into
man.
gold member. So yeah,
Yeah.
yo, like you gotta remember, ain't no dragons. And the Targaryen line is almost gone. So
Yeah.
this has to be the beginnings of it. It's not going to end up well for
Yeah.
nobody.
Yeah.
Like it's about to be so ugly. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
about to be real
This
ugly.
this is really about to be the start. This right here is the start of the downfall of the Targaryen dynasty, as they like to pronounce, of the Targaryen dynasty right
Dynasty,
here,
yes,
because it's a civil war. It's already bad when you have a civil war, but when you have a civil war with family,
yeah,
that's a whole. You wiping out y'all wiping you wiping your own bloodline out, man.
pretty much. I mean, because there's no reason that like the Lannisters or the Baratheons should even be in nowhere in power on the real.
Mm-mm,
You know what I'm saying?
mm-mm, mm-mm.
No, there was never a reason for that.
Right.
So yeah, man. Just wrapping this up. This has been an awesome first episode of the second season. We're gonna be here every Monday, 7 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if you're watching the Acolyte and you're not one of those weird racist people online that have been review bombing the wrong show. By the way, I saw that they're review bombing a movie that came out in '09 called Acolytes. That's how stupid they are. We're
I,
here.
I I just want to say, when we do the review for this week's episode, I'm gonna have a massive rant for.
Cool. I'm ready for it.
So yeah,
I'm ready. So yeah, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Acolyte, Star Wars, the High Republic series.
mm-hmm.
And of course, we'll be back here next Monday, 7 p.m. talking about episode 2. Make sure y'all put your comments down below wherever you're watching this at or you're listening on the podcast. Whatever. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, I don't know.
Whatever you listen to us say, man.
YouTube Music, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you listen to us on you, if you listen on YouTube on YouTube Music, you're gonna see the visual as well because
Yeah.
it's straight from YouTube. But yeah, that's all we got for this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, get at us. Till next time.